Hi all, Agent here. We're going to do a rail tank video. Surprise, surprise, but we're going to fight a ninja star quite a few times. In the meantime, this is match start right at the beginning. We're going to head out, and what I like to do on this map from either side is to harass enemies that are trying to capture towers right off the bat. Sometimes you can stall them just long enough to where your team can go over and steal the tower right out from underneath them. We're going to look over and try to cover both towers from here. I don't suggest doing this later on in the match. It really only works at the beginning, pulling out right in front of your base in the wide open like that. I still do it fairly often. Doesn't mean it works all the time, and sometimes it's a really bad idea, and you have to pick a side and kind of and sit on the rise on either side of this map, because sitting right in the middle is not a good idea. So I'm having a difficult time shooting this mech's guns off, the way he's moving back and forth. They do that to make it difficult to hit precise locations such as their guns. So I shot his legs off to stop him from doing that. And I want to finish the job here, but as you can see with the rail cannons, the little dot on the ground indicated that my shot was not going to hit him. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. The rail cannons don't always aim where your crosshair is. You have to pay attention to that little dot. It might be on the ground due to rise in elevation and which rail gun is actually going to fire. So pay attention to that. Now, I spot the ninja star. He's in an ideal location for me, which is far away, so I'm going to shoot him up, and I want to get him off the battlefield so he's not crashing into my allies and destroying them quickly. And we're going to pull up, and we're going to try to defend this tower. Don't really have a great angle on that guy, so I'm going to turn my attention over to Plasma Goliath on hover, which looks pretty squishy. I can't quite finish the job, and then I start taking laser fire from the mech, so I've got to back up. I can't move up and finish the job, and that's okay. Had that happened, I may have been too far forward or forward enough for the ninja star to hit me and deal more damage. I heard him coming, but it was like the very last second. Sometimes I think sounds are bugged and you don't hear them from as far away as you should. But we did manage to get out of there. He just barely grazed us, nibbled off a little piece of our tank, and we backed out of there, got back into our base with Blink, healed up, and we're back into the fight. Now, what that ninja star is probably going to do for the rest of the match is once you shoot at them, they will get angry with you, especially a slow-moving rail tank. You're already an easy target, but they will try to target you for the rest of the match. I've had matches where I couldn't do anything except for fight the ninja star, which was really annoying because all he does is blink away, and all I do is blink away, and I don't get to score very well because of that. I don't get to help my team out. And sometimes the ninja star is able to help his team still in between harassing me because he can get around so fast and deal massive amounts of devastating damage very quickly and then disappear. So those matches can be tough to deal with. We shot his legs off again. He's one of those mechs that likes to wiggle back and forth. He likes to AD or WS. Step forward and back and side to side to make his weapon's difficult to hit. So he's not a bad player, but he just doesn't have a great build because his mech legs are so small. They're very weak and easy to shoot off. So we're going to try to help our ally out here. Looks like he's probably got that under control, but just in case, we want to go ahead and help him get rid of that Shuriken. And plus, he's going to have to wait on a respawn until his timer runs out or until his allies capture a tower. And we're going to turn our attention to the tower that they're assaulting and try to stop that from happening. We don't want them to capture that tower. So, and the reason I stopped fighting them was to look around and see. I don't know what his respawn timer's like, but I just wanted to make sure he wasn't coming at me from the other side. They will typically come at you from whichever way you're not looking. So it's good to check your back now and then. I know a lot of people on the forums and on Reddit and YouTube and stuff say the ninja stars are easy to deal with and you just have to look around you. Well, you can't possibly be looking around you for the entire match, waiting on this ninja star that may not even ever come and sneak up behind you. So it's really It's really a fallacy. It's not a valid solution to the problem because you cannot look behind you constantly, especially if you're using camera controls. Now, I don't use camera controls. I use keyboard controls for everything, so I can free look. But it's not the way that works. So we found him. He's on the other side of the map, and now he's gone. He's going to have to suffer through a respawn again. He's probably starting to get pretty frustrated at this point, and I'm going to start seeing a lot more of him for the rest of the match after he respawns. So our team is pushed up, and as you notice, I've pushed up as well. I'm not hanging back as far back at our base. I'm moved up to the middle of the map. That's about as far forward as you want to be when you're supporting your team, unless they're in the enemy base and they've got them spawn locked. Otherwise, you don't really want to be pushing too far forward, or you're going to get destroyed because you cannot retreat to your base quick enough in a slow-moving ground vehicle to survive. So we've taken quite a few hits from the Plasma Goliathon. We're going to blink back into our base and start healing. And sure enough, there's Mr. Ninja Star. He's coming around, and he's going to ignore this other bot sitting there. He wants me. He doesn't want anybody else. He passed over the rest of my allies, and he's ignoring this other guy down here because he wants to come kill me. This is what I'm talking about when I say they're going to get mad, and they're going to come after you and target you and only you. This is exactly what happens with most of them. They want to prove that they can kill you. And they do have an advantage when they get in close, especially if you're using rails on a slow-moving ground build. Any slow-moving ground build is at a disadvantage to the Ninja Stars when they get close, and he knows that. So I know he's back there. I'm being mindful of his position. I know he's up there, but I don't want to ignore my allies that need my help out there. So I took a few shots, but now I can't do anything else. See, he's waiting there for me. And this is where radar comes in handy because they can't always be cloaked. I've got an epic radar on here, so if he's not cloaked, it's probably going to highlight him if he's anywhere close to me. And you don't actually have to be looking in the direction that your radar is highlighting them in. If you look at the radar, it's actually pointing at the enemy. So if you notice your radar stops turning and it's aimed somewhere, it's caught an enemy and it's in its area and it's detecting them, and it actually points right at them. So you don't necessarily have to look for the highlighted red player name. And see, now we've got a Plasma Goliathon copter, the one we shot down a couple times earlier. He's joined the Shuriken, and this goes for any bot. Anytime you shoot and kill anything with rails, more than any other weapon I've noticed, people will take it personally, and they will come try to get you back. They will try to come get revenge. They will exact vengeance upon you. So instead of letting this guy heal, I actually used my blink proactively and offensively, and I went up and over and I shot him and I got rid of him because we can't have him sitting there anyway and play this cat and mouse game. I can't move forward and snipe if he's sitting there. Anyone leaving the base is going to be subject to an absolutely devastating amount of damage coming from that plasma cannon, so we want to get rid of him, and that's exactly what I did. Was I blinked up and over, shot him as I dropped to the ground to stop him from starting an auto heal, and we were able to move out and capture this tower to respawn 2 allies. Always remember, as a rail tank, you can capture towers. At high overclock levels, it's pretty efficient. It happens pretty fast if you aim for those connector strips, but at low overclocks, you don't really want to be wasting your time aiming for crystals on towers. You really need to leave that to the rest of your team. So turn your attention to killing the aircraft, the Ninja Stars, and pretty much everything else that you can see early on until you hit about overclock 10 or 11, and then you can start taking towers pretty quickly. As rail, and I say this in all of my videos and I'm going to continue to say it, aircraft are priority targets. Aircraft, medics, and anything with large weapons. And there's our Ninja Star buddy again. He missed, maybe because I was moving around. I think he's still learning the ropes on this. I'm not trying to knock this guy because he's trying. He's kind of doing everything right. He's making some mistakes too, but I think he's trying to get the hang of this whole Ninja Star gameplay because I've seen better players, and like I said, I'm not trying to knock this guy and say he's bad. He is trying to sneak up behind me, but I am also a very aware player, and I know how to deal with them, and I have a bot equipped with Blink, not specifically for that, but specifically for tactical retreat, and that is what you have to do a lot when you're fighting these things. So we're down on the ropes here. I'm coming out to take a tower, but this aircraft caught my eye. We need to get rid of him before we can do anything because he can navigate the battlefield pretty quickly, and no matter where I go, he can come and bomb me and stop me from taking the tower. So instead of taking the tower closest to our base where all the enemies were at, you could see the whole mass of them there if you were paying attention, I'm going to blink over and I'm actually going to take their near tower because somebody's going to have to fall back to capture this tower, and it's the furthest tower from our base. It's the furthest tower from all the enemies, so it's kind of a good tactic to use if your team's on the ropes, is to fall all the way back to the enemy side of the map when they're all in your base, because they can't. There's nobody there to stop you, and there's nobody that can usually get there quick enough to stop you from capturing that tower once your overclock level's pretty high. Now the bombers respawned. It took him that long. He just came out of their base. And we're going to try to stop him from taking a tower again, but what we really need to do is defend our core, and it just wasn't possible. We were overwhelmed, we were outmatched, we faced a better team, but we did make life very difficult for the Ninja Star, and we also out-damaged that Ninja Star. So we top-scored for our team, and we did top damage in the whole match. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.